This is the House of Boom podcast. I'm your host, Eric Boom Salvery. Today, we have David Crownson in the building. He is the let's do the affirmation introduction. He is the Pulitzer Prize winner. We have Marvel and DC vying for his services. He is a creator. He is a writer. He is a bringing something to my original hometown, Newark, New Jersey. He is somebody that I can see definitely has a bright future in the comic book creation game. David Crownson, what's going on, man? How you feeling today?
I'm great, Eric. How are you?
I'm doing all right. A little gloomy outside, but you know what it is. We push through it. You know, the sun is always above the clouds, so we just try to make the best of the days. And then sometimes we just got to imagine ourselves up there with the sun and know it's up there, and that the clouds are just a mess that you just got to sweep away. That sounded really cool, and I'm going to have Waif run that over again, so just so we can use that in the future. But it's not about me. It's about you. So how you feeling today, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Despite this nap time weather,
Right.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling grateful to be alive, to be alive and moving and shaking.
Hey, one day at a time. So, I gave you the affirmation intro, but you created a really dope comic book, Harriet Tubman, Demon Slayer. Did that emphasis come through the right way?
A little bit.
A little bit. The Demon Slayer, Harriet Tubman. I mean, she was slaying demons in real life, I guess, in some way, shape, or form. Before we get into all the good stuff about what started you, how did you start off in this comic book game?
Yeah, my dad got me into comic books. He got me like a graphic novel collector's edition of like The Death of Superman, like back in like 1990, like 3 or something like that. And I think at the time, you know, back in the 90s, like comic books were worth like a ton of money. They still are, but like back then, like comic books, they would sell like $1 million a pop easily. And I remember my dad wanted to buy like a collector's, get into the comic book collector business, and then use that money to like sell like first edition, collector's edition things for a couple $1 million maybe, or a couple $100,000. And my dad's motivation was, I'm going to buy you this comic book. It's Death of Superman Volume 1, and we're just going to hold on to it, and then we're going to use this money. We're going to sell it in like 10, 15 years when it's like really valuable. And we'll use that money to like pay for college. And like that didn't happen because I read the comic book like from start to finish, and it was like totally thumbed through, and it was like all torn apart and tattered. But yeah, like I just that's how I got into superheroes, reading Death of Superman. I just was like, that's my first introduction to Superman.
The Death of Superman was the first introduction to comic books, period.
Yes.
Wow.
Like I knew like Superman existed, and knew knew the imagery of seeing superheroes, but like Superman, I was like, yo, like I was even shocked. I was like, yo, he died? What? And like what? Even though it says Death of Superman, I was like 6 years old.
Right.
So so it kind of tainted like what's considered like, I'm used to like Disney at this age. Like I'm used to Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast. Lion King hadn't come out yet to traumatize my black ass. So like I'm used to like, okay, like heroes win. I'm like, yo, the superhero died. So yeah, so I just got like into the comic books through that. And got obsessed with like Spider-Man, Batman, and yeah, man, and just kept on going into like Daredevil, Sin City, and you know, I was a big nerd. Like I used to, after school, like most kids would like talk to girls or like smoke something, and be hanging out with tons of girls. My nerdy self would like go to a bookstore and like I used to work at ShopRite. And at ShopRite I made like $140 a week being a cashier. And like for my 15-year-old self, I'm like, yo, I'm rich.
You balling.
Balling in like 2003.
Okay.
And yeah, I just would go to like a bookstore, just buy a bunch of books and just sit there and just read all day. But yeah, that's how I got into comic books.
So you remember that movie Class Act? You know, reading is fundamental. So you know, hey, that worked out and it set the path for you. You know, as you were talking, you was like, yeah, before the Lion King traumatized my black ass, and then that one little scene where Simba's in the valley and he's like, help, somebody, anybody. And then the tears, and this is the tears. I can just remember the tears. I don't care who you was. I don't care. Everybody cried. Every little kid cried at that part.
I don't care how gangster you think you are. You cried during the death of Mufasa.
Yo.
None of us saw it coming.
Nobody saw it coming.
Like, they're not killing the king of Zamunda.
Right.
Darth Vader. that ain't gonna happen.
Right.
Hell no, they ain't gonna kill no damn Darth Vader, King Zamunda up in this. Hell no. And then I was like, what? Oh no, he ain't moving. Oh no. No, Scar, you dirty bitch. Oh no. Scar, you raggedy bitch. I was so angry. Damn.
Producer of Aif over there crying. So you know, that's really dope that your dad, you know, the crazy thing is I used to have a Death of Superman thing, and I was actually an avid comic book collector. I remember going on to Comic-Con in the early days, like when it was, you know, it was a couple thousand people. It wasn't like hundreds of thousands of people coming through there. And I still have like some original JLA posters that's signed by some of the creators, Spider-Man, still in my house and stuff like that. Some of them they're not as well kept as they could be, but they still up there holding up tight. And unfortunately, I had a family member who, when I went to college, thought I didn't want the collection that I had. I had stacks, and I don't know if they threw it away or they gave it away, and I was so mad. And I definitely had a Death of Superman in there. So you talking about that just brings back the memories of having that book. It was well kept. I kept it. It did get thumbed through a little bit, but it was still well kept enough that I had it in the plastic and everything. I don't know. I remember my mom bought it, and for some reason, because it was thick. It wasn't like a regular comic book. Well, I don't know if it was the Death of Superman or it was Superman versus Doomsday, but he did die at the end. That
was the one. That was the one.
Yeah, and I'm sitting up there, and for some reason, when my mom gave it to me, I knew this was valuable. I didn't know the value of comics, but I knew that particular one was valuable, and I always took care of that one. So somewhere in maybe the dump pile that is New Jersey, it's just floating around, or somebody, hopefully it landed someplace well, you know, maybe a library or something donated it. But who were your growing up? You know, you talked about Spider-Man and Superman, but who were your other go-tos growing up? Like these were my guys. Like I had the toy, or I had this, I had a T-shirt, something. These were my go-tos. Who were those guys? Who were those?
What's it called? Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, for sure.
That was my shit. But both the dark black and white comic book and like the movie and the bright colorful like Turtle Power stuff and that video game. What else? Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yep.
I don't fuck with. Sorry, I don't know if I can curse on this.
Yeah, it's fine. You good?
All right, cool. I don't fuck with anything that ain't Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like, listen, it's only Zach, Tommy, Trini, Kimberly, Billy, and like Jason. I don't like everything else, Dino Thunder, whatever the hell that shit is.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with it. All right, like it is those first 2 seasons that are like the dopest.
Can I
Uh,
can I cut in real quick and ask this question? What was the biggest debate? Was the biggest debate who was the White Ranger when that happened amongst your friends growing
oh
up?
yeah, like yeah, everyone's like, hey yo, who gonna be? I'm like, yo, it can only be like motherfucking Tommy. It ain't gonna be no damn Vulcan skull or some bullshit.
Right.
Like, yo, I wonder who gonna be like the White Ranger. I'm
Yeah.
like, it has to be Tommy.
You know what's funny? Power Rangers definitely ran some misdirects in those original series and introduced some random characters in the show. And I was like, oh no, I got to be this guy. It got to be that. Nobody thought the Green Ranger was coming back. Like yo, let's be real. The Green Ranger was harder than the White Ranger, even though he
Oh
had.
yeah.
I say, but ain't nothing harder than he went up. Remember when he went up and beat all the Power Rangers up
Oh
and
yeah.
went inside the Zora? He
I
got
was
gangster with it.
stressed out. Like I will never forget that. Where like every day, this brother just like he just zoomed up
Yeah.
and like opened the door. He was like, "Yo, surprise, motherfucker!" And I was like, yo, I was like, oh shit!" He threw them out of their own sword.
Yeah, it's like, yo, get out your car, homie.
Yo, imagine you and your friends chilling, and you and like 5 of your friends, and
Mhm.
one dude came up and like punched the window in and said, "Yo, I want to pick on all you motherfuckers," and pulled all of you out and proceeded to like pimp slap and spank all of you. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I was shocked. And like they couldn't do enough. They're like, "Yo, we gotta run away. Yo, yeah."
So
He's
for
like,
anybody watching
I'm
right
about
now, y'all,
to.
for anybody watching right now, you gotta understand that this is one nerd talking to another nerd, and this is just real. So if you ain't with it, hey, usually I talk about sports and entrepreneurship and all that stuff, but people don't realize how much of a nerd I am. I don't know if you saw this. It's kind of topical. This thing where there was some guy in Harlem singing to Megan Good in a Spider-Man outfit, and it was trending. Like he was across the street. I guess he was filming one of her, either a show or a movie, and he had he had like a speaker, and he was out just in the middle of the street singing to Megan Good and like remixing mad songs. And I put on my Instagram story. I was like, listen, if my future wife don't understand, this is how the energy I'm coming with because I'm that much of a nerd that she just I don't want it. Like, so that's really what's up, man. So you had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you had the Power Rangers, all those good things. How do we get to a place where you take a historical figure like Harriet Tubman and you turn her into a badass comic? She was badass in real life. Let's be
Oh
real.
yeah, of course,
But
of course. Like
how do you get to that place where you take that and you make her into a badass, just the character for comic books?
yeah, man. It just started with well, my background besides like writing is in acting,
Okay.
and I went to school for theater, and then had like a little bit of a career doing a bunch of like regional theater off Broadway stuff in New York City.
Hmm.
And I had an audition for this independent movie called Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and with a nobody named J.J. Abrams was directing it.
Wow.
And what's it called? I auditioned. I didn't get the part. Uh, John Boyega took my money. Um, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, it was announced like John Boyega got the part, and I was
Hmm.
like, I don't know, like
Oh,
I
so
did.
you really did audition for the role of Finn.
Mhm.
Oh
I
wow, that's
auditioned.
dope.
Well, I auditioned. There was one role. I think I auditioned for a stormtrooper that had a bunch of lines, and
Hmm.
this is the stormtrooper. I don't know if you've seen the Force Awakens.
Oh, absolutely.
That stormtrooper that Finn like uh this stormtrooper touches Finn's
Hold,
helmet and it's all
hold on.
blood.
Producer
Yeah.
Bobby just pointed out something. I'm gonna just move my head so you can see what's behind me.
Oh, there it is. There we go. Mandalorian. Mandalorian.
no,
Dopeness.
no, I'm gonna just let you, I had to cut that in because he was like, "Yo." Does he know what's behind you? So I was like, yo, I had to move that over to the
I
side
had,
real
had
quick.
to
But
move
go,
it to the side. The boba effect.
yeah.
Yes.
But go ahead. So yeah, you talk about you just auditioning for the stormtrooper with a lot of lines.
Yeah, the stormtrooper had a bunch of lines, and I think they ended up cutting it out. But they said, hey, like we liked how that guy read. Let's bring him in for like one of the lead roles. And it was really top secret. Like I thought I was auditioning for an army movie. The way
Mm,
they kept it very secretive, I had no idea that it was a Star Wars movie till I got to like the second callback. Like
mm,
the second final callback, they were like, "Surprise! It's Star Wars," and it's like, "Oh, okay." Um, and like by that point, like you're so psyched out, like you have no choice but to like you have to just act and perform your best. Or like me, I was really loose and silly in the
mm-hmm,
room. Like thankfully, like I just cracked more jokes than usual.
mm-hmm,
Um, yeah, they made me like read a couple of scenes that I recognized like from now, like watching the movie. And I didn't get it, and I was
mm-hmm.
devastated. I should have been like more grateful that like I auditioned for something so like big and monumental. But at the time, I'm like, man, I wanted that part so badly. This is bullshit. So didn't get it. So I like moved to Africa. I like did some weird like Dave Chappelle Eat, Pray, Love shit
Wow.
where
Mm-hmm.
I was living in Harlem and I gave up my apartment. Uh, and my parents are originally from Ghana, West Africa.
Dope.
So I just was like, yo, I need like a detox. I need like a break because I am just overworked and stressed. I don't feel like I'm living under my purpose, and moved to Africa, man. And it was great. Moved to Ghana
Mm-hmm.
specifically, and loved it. Great food, great people, and I lived with my mom and my stepfather. And I think one day I was just watching like a Harriet Tubman documentary because Harriet Tubman is like hugely celebrated in Ghana because they
Mm-hmm.
traced her roots back to Accra in Ghana. So she's like a
Wow.
big deal in Ghana. Yeah, I think she's probably more celebrated in Ghana than like here.
Wow,
Um,
that's dope.
so I was watching this documentary, and I was like, dope. And like, it was like the blackest thing ever. I was eating like fried chicken and watching a documentary about Harriet Tubman in like Africa, like the blackest sentence ever spoken.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm like watching this Harriet Tubman documentary, eating fried chicken. It's dope. Everything's great. And then I started channel surfing, right? When it ended, and I landed on uh like the ending of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon,
Mm-hmm.
and it's that scene where it's like Michelle Yeoh versus like Zhang Zi, and they're having this like epic like martial arts katana fight scene, and dope, awesome movie. And then when that ended, I think I changed the channel again, and I ended up on Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. And I was like, yo, oh, dope. Like I really wanted to watch it because I wanted to watch Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters when I was like when I was in America, but I didn't get a chance to. And it was on TV in Ghana. So I was like, yo, let me like watch this right now. So I watched it. Terrible movie. Wasn't a good movie. It was because it was such a cool premise, but they didn't like take advantage of it. Like there could have been more cooler, like funner action scenes, but they kind of tried to make it like kind of serious. But I'm like, yo, come on, your movie is called Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. Like, have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Like I am all about whatever I create. It has to like have heart and like be fun. Like don't ever be boring.
Got you.
Um, so Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, terrible movie, trash movie, and ended up. I think later on that night I was writing in my journal, right, and I'm just writing like down like I'm in Africa, I'm in Ghana, and I'm watching like different movies, and I just wrote like a whole entire like journal just about like my experience, and I landed on when I was kind of like writing a journal entry about my day. I looked and I saw like these three things that stood out, and it was Harriet Tubman, it was Katana Fight Scene, and Witch Hunters. And then I just kind of looked at the page and it said Harriet Tubman, Witch Hunters, Katanas. And I went, Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And I just thought, like, what if Harriet Tubman knew martial arts and the choreography was similar to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but she's beating up like a racist werewolf? That would be like really fun and cool. But I didn't know what it was. Yeah, I just wrote it down. Harriet Tubman, Demon Slayer. Had no idea what it was going to be. And when I flew back, I landed, I think I flew to LaGuardia, and I think I saw at this bookstore, like it was a How to Write Comic Books book by one of my favorite comic book writers, Brian Michael Bendis. He created Miles Morales. And I'm like, yo, that's it. I'll make it a comic book. So I think I ordered the book on Amazon because it was way too expensive to buy it at the airport lot, like that airport bookstore.
And they're gonna charge you like 3 times the amount.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was like I ain't spending $80, so we'll order that on Amazon for $5. So yeah, I just went to I got the book like 2 days later, and just kind of taught myself how to write comics just from reading that book, and then did a whole bunch of research on Harriet Tubman. And like my preparation for writing the comic book was doing research on the real life Harriet Tubman and reading a lot of like Anne Rice vampire anthology books, and also watching a ton of like Dracula, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and just kind of looking into that kind of like Transylvanian mythology. And then I just kind of worked from there to do Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer and watch some Django. And that's where I got like the tone. Like I knew the tone was going to feel very much Django Unchained meets I spent like maybe a couple of months working on the first issue, and then spent another 6 months working on what the whole story was going to be, and found an artist, Cortland Ellis, and he drew the cover of chapter 1, and he killed it in that first cover, where it's the classic one, chapter 1.
Yep.
He I think when I hit him up, I just said, hey man, I like your art, I want you to do Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer, or no, I said I want you to do my book. And he's like, oh cool, thanks, what's the name of your book? And I said, it's called Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna get in trouble, let's do it. And so like it wasn't like that, like it was like he did the cover, and then I said, hey, I want you to do the first issue, would you be interested? He's like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And we kind of worked on like what her design would be for the whole comic. And then what's it called? I didn't have enough money to pay him. So I think I just said something like, hey man, I'm going to talk to different investors and different money people so I can properly like pay you, compensate you for your time. And I think I had one investor who didn't pan out. So I'm like, I give up on this. This is too hard. Looking for an investor, looking for a money person. I'm just going to focus on my acting stuff and other things. And, I kind of gave up a little bit of that point. I'm like, it's going to be fine. Donald Trump, like Hillary Clinton's going to be president tomorrow. This is like 2016. Right. And I'm like, everything's going to be fine. And then like the next day, Donald Trump was like president, right? And I was like, holy shit, didn't see that shit coming. What? I was like, yo, what's happening? And all this crazy like racist hate crime shit was happening in my area. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? And I don't know, I just was angry. And I'm like, racist people should be scared. So I decided, like, I'm going to find a way to put this out there in the world because people need to see it. And I want to make this comic book because everyone, Black people, non-coontastic Black people, are very upset right now about this thing, and we're scared too, because a lot of hate crime nonsense was happening, and violence against us, which has always been out there, but now it felt blatant and okayed. So I just wanted to make something that would scare racist white people and make us feel good. So that was like my motivation, mainly like for us to feel good, but like in secondary to scare racist white people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I just said, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do a Kickstarter and hope for the best. And that's what we ended up doing. We did this Kickstarter for Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer, and the goal was for 15,000, and we ended up raising $21,000.
Wow. So
During the Christmas season, which is a terrible time to do a Kickstarter. Like, I always pick terrible times to do a Kickstarter.
one thing I loved what you talked about is when you brought up how that in the creative process, as you were watching Harriet Tubman, and you were watching Crouching Tiger, and then the witch, the Booty Witch movie. I love how you not only journaled what you were experiencing throughout the day, but the highlights of those things, and those things brought something together that is significant right now in your life and what you're doing for the culture. And I wanted to highlight that again, just so for anybody who may have, going through some creative processes and things like that, the importance of just writing stuff down, remembering significant little points or big points that happen throughout the day, and just being able to put things together, and it's almost like a puzzle came together in your head, and you created a masterpiece and such. Because even just hearing you talk about it, the enthusiasm that you talk about it with makes me just want to go out and get the book just now, because I'm like, yo, he did that, he got that from that. That's crazy. You can continue a little bit before we move on to your current project, but what how has that process been with the you created it and you got to the point where you wanted to make racist people scared, and then now you putting it out there to the world to see. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, like I think when I got the idea, it was just like a fun, like silly idea, like that I was kind of writing to entertain myself. And I just thought, I'm like, yo, that'd be so cool if that was real. And I just knew it could be, I wasn't sure what medium it could be on, but I was like, I just love the idea. And then I had to find like a story. So in my research, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna find the story from just restudying like Harriet Tubman's life, and I landed on what I thought would be really compelling was when Harriet Tubman's identity leaked in America, because like this is when she had been like freeing at least 200 slaves in a year, and people were mad, like white people were mad. They're like, yo, and then they didn't think it was a Black woman. They thought it was like a white man doing it. Then they thought it was a white man in blackface, and then they thought, all right, it's a Black man. But then when they found out, because she went by Moses, so they thought, okay, it has to be like a white man helping these Negroes. There's no way. There's no way a Negress or a Negro could. I just made that up. Negress. That's not a real thing.
Right.
like there's no way that like that could happen. But when they found out that it was a 4'11" dark-skinned Black woman named Harriet Tubman from Baltimore, Maryland, they were pissed. So and then it became like her life became like it was already a dangerous thing, but it became even more dangerous when they knew her by name, have an idea what she looked like, and now they're hunting not only her, but they're hunting down her family members, her parents, her brothers, her sister. Her sister didn't survive. Her sister died. Um, but yeah, it was a tough, terrible time. I'm like, okay, like what if I did that, but like vampires and demons are like hunting her as well, because they never caught her this whole time. In the real life story, they never caught her. No slave died under her watch. So, but like I just thought, like, oh, that'd be so like compelling and like fun, that she has to like fight an army basically. And what if she has to like lead a family to freedom, and all this crazy stuff is happening, right? So yeah, I just worked on that aspect of it. Did real research on like real life slaves. The family that's the supporting characters in the book. They're the Edgefields, real name. Look them up. Real life family. Put them in the book. Twisted some things a little bit with it, but yeah, landed on that, and then I've carved out about 200 chapters of where to go with this story. Like, wow. It's like so many cool things are gonna happen. Like we haven't touched on the Civil War yet. Abraham Lincoln still needs to show up. Frederick Douglass is gonna show up. John Brown's gonna show up. So many like a lot's gonna happen in Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. A lot of cool stuff is gonna happen. But yeah, so yeah, that's basically what I got going on with that. And then landed on Nightmare in Newark. Well, actually, no. Now Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer is going to be a TV show.
Whoa. So okay, talk about that. Let's go there.
Yes, it's going to be a TV show produced by Prentice Penny of Insecure.
Okay.
And it's going to be through his. It's going to be hopefully through Disney and end up on Hulu.
Oh. So I kind of messed up when I said earlier when I did the affirmation intro, talk about so DC and Marvel are vying for a service. No, we just gonna keep it real Disney right now, and you know, they are the ones that are helping produce this. That's gonna be interesting, bro. That's gonna be sign me up. Is it gonna be a show, a movie? How's it gonna do? Like a series?
Be a 10-episode TV series, and it's going to be on Hulu. It's going to be the hope is that it's going to be produced through Disney, but it can't be anywhere else except like I don't think it's going to be on Disney Plus.
No.
I don't know how that would I don't know if that'd be like a good look if it's like Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer on Disney Plus. I don't know. Can you imagine that like her katana just turns into a plus or some shit?
Yeah.
Oh no. I don't think it'll be on. I wouldn't want it on Disney Plus. I don't think it would fit personally.
No, but this thing is this. I don't want to call it a thing. You know, the black people we always sometimes do. This little thing or that thing. This show, I feel is going to be the most watched because it's such a different perspective, and I know that there are a ton of people who are just tired of watching the same old slave movies and stuff like that. And like you said, Django Unchained was like something that gave us something different. You know what I mean? Yeah, it had those certain elements, but it's like it showed us empowerment through those things, and not just let's run from massa and hide from massa and all this other stuff. Like I'm so intrigued to just watch this and see where it goes, man. And even before I know we're not anywhere near finished, but just kudos to you for just this creative process because I'm a big thinker, and I just see the layers and just of what it's going to do, and just the type of people that it's going to attract and the type of people it's going to piss off, like you said. So that is something I'm looking forward to. So before we get to Nightmare in Newark, I'm going to let our producer segment question kind of just slide in there. And like I said, you gave us so many nuggets that I'm sure Baif has some fire to come with today. So I'm gonna turn the reins over to Baif, and it's your time, bro.
Pardon me. So I just want to say officially, I'm thoroughly enjoying the conversation, being a quote unquote fly on the wall. I appreciate these moments where it's not just bullshit conversation, but there's so many nuggets that I don't even think y'all know y'all firing off, and I'm just sitting here like, yeah, this is pretty amazing. But my question to you is, um, I take it how you take it, but if you could tell the self that got interested in comic books, that age, I don't remember what the age was, but if there was a gem you could tell yourself then, seeing how your journey is so far, what would that be?
I don't know. Oh wait, you mean
Like as the budding artist, as that seed that got planted, what would you tell the younger you with that seed, seeing how that seed grew into what it grew into?
okay, so like tell so when I was like 6 years old, when I got introduced to like Death of Superman, like that version.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know if my 6 year old self would like listen to this shit because I'm 6 years old. Like,
Shit, maybe your 12-year-old self or your like.
I don't like saying because I'd be like, yo, bro, save your money, invest into Apple.
You know, it's some shit called Bitcoin.
Yo, brother, there's gonna be this thing called Bitcoin. Money, I need you to invest in the iPhones in 2006. There's going to be a thing called an iPhone, iTablet. Invest into that and don't leave until like 2015. All right. Well, I think like, okay. I'm being silly, but like 6-year-old me, I would just say, yeah, man, to keep laugh louder. Keep having fun and cherish these moments. What's it called? Don't worry. Actually, yeah. Like have even more fun, and don't be afraid to try new things. Because I was afraid of like now I'm an actor too, and I was afraid of like performing in front of people. But I'm like, yo, man, like you only live once. Like do those fun, creative things. He's 6 years old. He has his whole life ahead of him, but like, you know, just don't waste your time being sad about little things. And listen to your mama. Clean your room. And what else? If you're gonna sneak downstairs to watch those movies, do it at 11 o'clock. No, I'm kidding.
So then, all right, part two, the beginning of this journey. Some of the things that you seen come through fruition. Like, did you even have that as a part of your foresight? Like, hell yeah, we gonna get this done. Or now that you've gone through it, now you like, damn, I definitely could have had more faith there or more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like Prentice and Disney, there were other people that approached me before Prentice. Like I think 6 months after the first issue was published, like I had a whole bunch of like Hollywood people on top of me, and I'm glad none of them panned out. And I think that if I could give myself any advice, I would just say, hey, worry more about being creative and creating more comic books, because I was like, oh, I can't make comic books unless this gets turned into a TV show right now. Yeah, I just would have, because I kind of in between, like if you go back and like study, like just when things got released, The first issue came out in 2017. Second issue came out also, excuse me, in 2017. And then like there was a big lull where issue 3, 4 and 5 don't come out till 2020. And that was because I had lots of Hollywood people behind the scenes kind of making me offers, and I also had big name publishers making me offers. And at the time, I was kind of stressed out and burnt out from doing a Kickstarter. So I just said, oh, I'm just gonna wait until like I just figured, okay, someone will give me the opportunity. Someone will see how great my comic book is, and they'll just give me a check. But you kind of have to make your own thing. You have to manifest your own destiny, because not everyone's going to. I mean, listen, I'm grateful that Prentice and Sebastian Jones took notice, but like the reason why they took notice is because I was doing a lot of stuff on my own. Like what got them to sign with me is that I directed a commercial that you can find on YouTube. It was a commercial for chapter 5 of my comic book. And it came out really well because I had a great like team of friends who helped me put it together, and a great cinematographer, Lex Kimbrough, who shot my Kickstarter actually. And then I think they saw it. I think my friend Sebastian, who works with Prentice as a producer, saw it and was like, hey, wait, I should ask David like what he's doing with Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer, because this looks amazing. So he was like, hey man, there's also potential in your comic book being like a thing. Have you thought of that? He's like, I'm like, oh, I thought of it, but I'm just really focused on just making more comic books. And no matter what, yeah, I was just I wasn't thinking about a TV show thing, because again, I would get offers and then things wouldn't pan out. Either the money wasn't right or the people weren't right. Prentice is perfect for this because his storytelling sensibilities match my own, where he's all about, hey, like this should be funny. This should have like a lot of emotion in it. And he wants that for Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. If you watch like any of his stuff, his stuff is very much rooted and connected in the emotional life of things. But yeah, but again, to give myself any advice to 2016 David, be like, hey, no matter what, keep writing, keep producing. Don't stop at these first 2 issues, even when they get out there. Start a Kickstarter for your next thing immediately. Also, don't wait on these publishers. That like I had publishers who I thought, oh, they're just going to give me creative control and a whole bunch of money, and that's not what happened at all. I would get big name publishers who would make offers, but they would say, hey, we want more scenes of Harriet being whipped. Like they're like they want a whole bunch of like black torture porn. I'm like, yo, I'm not doing that. And they would just say, well, we need more character development, David. And I'm like, yo, I can show you more character development without like, and these are like all like white people in the room telling my black ass how to write my black characters. During slavery, it was a terrible, uncomfortable like atmosphere to be in. So again, I'm very happy that this is my company, Kingwood Comics. This is my publishing company. If I could go back in time, I would say, hey man, start your own publishing company. Fuck these other people. Your comic book is dope. People like it. People fuck with it. Just trust that people will consistently fuck with you, and focus on telling the story and making it fun and cool and choosing a good art team, and people will find you. And people will, what's cool about people finding you and buying your book, they'll tell their friends, they'll share it on Instagram, they'll take pictures of it, and it'll just spread. Also, don't date that one girl in 2018. The thing that I'm talking about. Do not date that woman. 2018. Leave. She looks good. She looks good. Don't date her.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't,
Don't date that woman.
David, don't do it. So, I mean, you got nuggets on top of nuggets on top of nuggets. I'm trying to scramble my head. So, one thing I liked about what you said about when you were dealing with the people in the room, I was reminded of when I forgot what it was, like a slave show or something coming on or something, and Snoop was like, yeah, and Snoop went online. He was like, no, I ain't watching no damn slave movie. I'm tired of seeing us get whipped and all this other shit. We done that. We done Roots and all that other stuff. We good. We don't need no more. And so as you were talking about that, I thought about that. Like, yeah, that's crazy that there's like, oh, to develop the character, like we need to see somebody getting the flesh whipped off their body. Like, yeah, people are tired of seeing that. So I thank you for standing up in those rooms and saying, look, we have other stories to tell or other ways we can tell this story. The other thing that I was curious about, so I'm gonna ask two questions. I'm gonna try to not give you too much, but do you think that your Ghanaian roots played a role in that? Because I have a theory that sometimes, like, people who actually just came natively from Africa and just came here and didn't have to go through the slave trade, that at some point, because your history doesn't necessarily have the starting point of the American black person's mindset of starting with slavery free, that there's a different level of, I guess I can say, royalty with that comes with that you're just like, nah, that's not the story that I'm trying to tell, because I not necessarily come from that. And then my second question, because I'm gonna speak it into existence that I'm pulling up to the premiere, you know what I mean, whenever the show comes. But are you going to stand lead this thing and make sure that you are going to be in the show at some point or a time? Because I feel like it would be a disservice if you're not, but I'm curious if that's how you're gonna if you have that in you. So
Yeah. I like. Yes, I will do a cameo in Harriet Tubman. I already know what I'm gonna do.
okay,
Yes. All you gotta know is yes, I'm gonna have a cameo in it.
okay,
And to the first question, like yes and no. Like I was talking about me because I'm a big Superman nerd. Like
okay,
I was thinking about I grew up with having like a family, an African family, but I grew up in America. I didn't really
okay.
know much about my African roots, so like I kind of felt like Superman, like Clark Kent. Like Clark Kent think like he's like, yeah, like he has the emotional intelligence and connection of being human, being
Okay.
raised in like Kansas, like in Smallville in Kansas.
Right.
And like he knows like there's something different about him, but by all appearances and how he relates to other people, he's like, I'm a human. And then when he grows up, he finds out, oh, this is actually where you're from. And then he's like, oh, and then he takes a minute just to like connect to those roots, but he still has like this 50-50 like balance of growing up in America, growing up in Smallville and seeing like humanity, and it gives him like a wide range of like empathy and connection to it. But he also sees like, oh, okay, yeah, like I'm from here, so I see this life, and this life also gives me my power in a way. So I feel like, though I don't have the descendant, like I don't have descendants who were slaves. Growing up, there's still like an echo of it that Black Americans have to deal with and go through.
Okay.
And you're still in that space and you're feeling it. And like also like on the street, no one looks at me and goes like, that's an African. Like, or says like, you know what, like that guy, he was born in New Jersey, but his family like in America, like we we all like growing up. I also when I came, I just noticed there was lots of like separatism and like this weird thing between Black Americans, Africans, and I just was like, yo, we all got to come together. Like we need each other. We need each other.
Right.
We need each other so badly. Like when I was in Ghana, they like loved like Black American culture. Like they know all the movies. Like they watch like Friday is like a movie that is, for some odd reason, Friday is like a big Christmas movie in Ghana. Like here in America, they play A Christmas Story a bunch of times. In Ghana, they play Friday a whole bunch. I don't know why. Maybe that's why like the third Friday takes place during Christmas. I don't know. But like, but yeah, they know who all the celebrities are. They know about music, comedy. They know about Martin. They know about Will Smith. They
Right.
know they know about like, well, what's weird is that they don't know when someone like dies, which is weird. Like one guy said, hey, like, you know, like he's like David, I love Tupac. I never hear from him. What happened? And I'm like, oh man, I got terrible news. And like or the same thing. Like,
well, I mean, all things being fair, maybe Tupac's in Ghana.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that. Like, someone posted this picture of Tupac, and like the clarity in this picture. I'm like, yeah, the clarity in this picture is like a 22 like Galaxy Samsung camera. All right, like this selfie is too clean and like crisp. Like I just know Tupac is gonna go live on Instagram by accident one day. Like that is gonna happen. Tupac, like I don't get why he would like I don't know. I don't get why he would like leave. You know.
Right.
Also, yeah, it is hard to fake your death, and like that costs billions of dollars to like probably do and disappear.
Right.
So, I mean, I would hope he's alive.
Right.
But yeah, what's it called? But yeah, I think even in like I was talking to my mom about this. I'm like, yo, like there's lots of like anger, because I remember when I was doing in my research, especially this happened in like the 60s and 70s, where they were like, yo, like, and I think this kind of leads into some stuff with Black Panther and with Killmonger, especially. Like, they were like, yo, how come like in Africa, when a bunch of us disappeared, how come y'all didn't like do revenge and stuff like that? Like y'all were just chilling out, like, oh, okay, I can't find my cousin. Like, I guess we just better just chill out. But like, I think I talked to like I was like, so mom, like, what do you think? And my mom, like, when I was there, she like showed me. She's like, hey, like, this is where, and we didn't. Some of us didn't know what happened, and like I looked at all these like journals, and like you can feel it. You can feel like there's like this spot where like where people got kidnapped and like brought to America, and like you like it's hard to.
Are you referring to the Elamina Slave Castle or something else? Because I've been to the. Yeah, I definitely I don't want to take away from you because you're the interviewer, but I know that when you're in the cell, the smell is still there. Like there's still some type of stench.
Yeah, man. And you I don't know, you feel it's you do feel this spirit of almost of I can only describe it as like despair. And a lot of people, they said, hey, we didn't know what happened. Like some people went missing, and like again, this is a big ass continent, and
right,
people went missing, and we didn't know what happened. And then also we didn't know where they went, because there was no like trail of like, okay, they went to this mysterious place called America. Well, like there was no like it's like, okay, did they go to Ireland? Did they go to, like, I didn't think about that. I was like, oh, because at first I was like, yo, how come y'all didn't rise up and like just like my mom was like, yo, there ain't no damn, like, this ain't Twitter, all right? With the like looking at these journals, it's like people wondering what happened to certain friends, what happened to certain family members. But like they just one day weren't here, and like that's scary as hell.
That would
It's
be
not
like
like you can like tweet like, yo, it's not like, you know, you can like tweet about it. It's just like they were gone.
that'd be like a dope documentary all by itself. Just because I think that more people need to know that.
Mhm.
That, like, you're dropping a knowledge on me. Like, I never thought of it like in that sense of like people actually sitting there and they're writing. First off, people don't realize that Africans were writing, and that's one thing that a lot of people just need to know. We weren't like living it. You know how it is. Like, the poverty porn, or sometimes they project everything as like South Africa, lions, tigers, and bears, and everybody's just living in a hut. Like, no, people were educated. People were writing things of that nature, but that people are actually writing journals about, like, yo, what happened to my cousin, what happened to my father, what happened to my daughter, or whatever. I think that's something I don't even think I've ever heard anybody talk about that. So that's just news to me. And thank you for sharing that. We gotta move on, because I'm like, there's so much more we could go on, but I want to get to the Nightmare in Newark, and I'm like, we ain't even touched that. You just dropped so much knowledge on me, like, like I said, me and Baif were like, yo, this is it right here. And I'm like, yo, me and him just messaged each other and started. Uh, uh, I hit him up on the gram the other day, and I was like, hey. I was like, hello, how are you? Then I was like, I probably should write something else, because he probably going to think this is a scammer. Because you know how the scammers be on Instagram, like, hello, how are you? And then you say hi back, and the next thing you know, oh, I want to introduce you. Have you invested in Bitcoin or something like that? So I was like, I got to make sure I send the full. Once he said hi, I was like, all right, cool. Send the full joint, send the clip, so he don't think I'm some dude, and then block me, and then we don't get this done. So it's great that we connected on Monday, able to do this by Wednesday.
Yeah.
How did we get? So how did we get to this creative space where we went from we're not moving on from Harriet Tubman, but we're moving that to the left, and now we are in Nightmare in Newark. And why is Newark always the place of? I'm just so curious, because Newark is always like subject to alien invasions. I don't know if people, but it happens a lot actually in Newark. So, but go ahead. I'm gonna let you take the floor.
Yeah, no, but like, I think Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer, the first two issues, had been out for about like a year, and I got approached by a publisher who I won't name, a big publisher who liked the first two issues, and they wanted to do like a horror anthology series, and they wanted to do like a specific like 22-page issue, and they wanted to do one with myself and Portland Ellis, who did issue one of Harriet. They said, hey, you guys should do like a horror like thing, just come up with something and contribute it to our horror anthology book. And I was like, all right, cool. So I started kind of thinking of different things, and I remember I was in my apartment in Harlem, and something happened where like there was like a bed bug outbreak in my building, and everyone had to like leave the apartment, right? And so I think I ended up moving back to Jersey with my family during this time, and no one could go back because the whole entire building just had a big infestation. And they were like, bed bugs are just ugly, terrible creatures. So
Right.
I think I was talking to a friend of mine about it, and I was trying to come up with a horror like element. And my friend was like, yeah, but what if like you just told, like, just write what you know, like you went through like a traumatic experience losing your apartment. And I was like, wait, what if those bed bugs were like fucking aliens or some shit? So I was gonna make it about like these giant like kind of 1950s Mars Attacks thing, but I was gonna have it. It wasn't set in Newark originally, It was gonna be like, I think I was gonna call it like, it was something really corny at the time. It was like, it was gonna be like an alien invasion thing. So I was gonna call it Battle for Harlem or Battle for Brooklyn. But I was like, I don't know. And I was kind of going through that and being homeless. And then I'm like, okay, let me like focus. Let me make the alien invasion thing like a second story thing, and I'll focus on like the humanity, like the intimate emotional part of this story. So originally, like, okay, what's scary? And I'm like, okay, it'd be scary if you had to like tell your family something, and then something crazy scary happened. So I started like playing around. I was like, okay, what if you're telling your parents you're dropping out of college, and an alien invasion happens? Or what if you were going to like marry someone who was either outside of your culture or outside of your race? And then alien invasion happens. You're telling your family this. Like, I wanted it to be a story about confessing something that you're scared to confess to your family, and then something even scarier, like life or death, happens. Like you almost have like two different horror movies happening at the same time. So I think I decided on like, all right, I'll make a story about a black man dating a white woman. Like, okay, what if it was like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Sidney Poitier movie? And what if it was that movie, but like an alien invasion happened during that movie? Like, what does that movie look like now? So I was focusing on that, and I don't know, like something about like, this was like maybe 2018, and I'm like, man, like the stakes don't seem like that high. You know, like if you're like 30 and you tell your parents you dated someone white, they'll like, depending on like the family, they'll be like, all right, oh well. I guess like only you will be doing the cooking or some shit. I don't know. What's it called? Can't handle that. Can't handle that type of seasoning. I don't know. So like, the stakes just didn't seem that high. But I was gonna just do it anyway because I wanted to get this job and get paid for it, right? And so I think the first draft that I wrote, the sister or like cousin of the lead character that was a guy was like this lesbian, and I had like a funny interaction of like, yo, what's scarier, you know, telling your family that you're dating a white woman, or telling your family that you're like that you are like a lesbian? But like, hey, like a black woman, so y'all can't get mad. So I was like, wait a minute, like, wait, that seems like way more interesting and like scary to me, at least, to be black and be queer in 2018. And it seems like the stakes are like higher. And even like I took time to, you know, because I'm, what's it called? I'm not like a member of that community. So like, I'm like, okay, like let me interview like queer black people and just ask like, hey, what was it like coming out to your family? Just to get underneath the, you know, because I am an obnoxiously straight black man. Like, I don't have experience. Like, I don't have the, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a story just about confessing something. And I knew, okay, if I can just go underneath the emotional subtext of it, I'm like, okay, what's something that I'm scared to say to like my parents, you know, that I think they would have a terrible reaction to, where it would cause them to not love me anymore, or just so. And I was writing from that perspective, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go deeper with it. So just interviewing different members of the LGBTQ community especially who are black, is something that I needed. Yeah, like it's a fun story with like aliens and there's comedy and horror in it, but I think for me, my stories need to be grounded so the stakes feel high, or have like a little bit of like groundedness so we're just emotionally connected to the lead character. But yeah, like when I decided to make it a woman and make it a black woman who is coming out, like it felt more like, okay, the stakes are higher now. And then that publisher, I think the editor who was working on that anthology, I think like the money wasn't there to invest in this anthology. And like once I came up with like the story, I still didn't know if it was I knew it was gonna be in New York, but I just didn't have I wasn't thinking of New Jersey at the time. But I decided on New Jersey when I took like a PATH train when I was coming back to New Jersey to see family, and we were stuck in Newark. And I was like, wait, I'll have this be set in Newark. Yes. And I think it was gonna be called like Battle for Newark. But I was like, no, let me just make it about like one thing specific. And I just decided on like Nightmare in Newark. And here we are, Nightmare in Newark. And just wanted it to be funny and have heart, but also it to be scary and for the stakes to be high. It's very much like the comedy and pacing of like Friday, Shaun of the Dead meets Cloverfield and War of the Worlds, so yeah, that's what I decided on, and we got a great comic book artist, Brett Parson. The Kickstarter is live. I don't know when this will come out.
Okay.
Hopefully when the Kickstarter ends in exactly 1 week.
Okay.
So I hope that this comes on before it. But if this comes on within the next 7 days, please go to Kickstarter.com and type in Nightmare in Newark and pledge $25 or more to get a physical copy of Nightmare in Newark to all these wonderful folks listening.
Listen, man. So obviously, like I said, I moved this way, and I have a set piece there. You see the Ali in the background. You see the Black Panther in the background comic book. I'm always looking for dope set pieces. Where I don't know if you knew this, but our studio is based in Newark, so it would be nothing more than an honor. Even because I was, the funny thing is like when we have in person guests. This is cool because we have this aesthetic, but when we have in-person guests, there's more gray wall, and I'm looking for something to put back there. And so what I would do is I would take the cover, blow it up, and put it in the background, and it would be a part of the set pieces. I'm definitely gonna pledge 25. Just because I just like the, like I said, for some reason, Newark is a place where in a couple, quite a few alien movies that has just got attacked. Like it's like, okay, I guess let's not blow up the Empire State Building. Let's go over to Newark and just mess with the hood or whatever. But I think I forgot what movie it was with Keanu Reeves too. They were in Penn Station in Newark and stuff like that. But it was like, if you were from Newark, you were like, that is not our Penn Station. That is too clean. You don't see no homeless people outside.
Where is that one homeless man who's in a wheelchair and has one shoe on?
Right.
And it's just like it's obvious he can walk, but he's just moving his like one leg, and he's like, come on guys, so someone give me something to eat, guys.
Yeah.
Or like escalators are working and shit. In my comic book, I have it that none of the escalators, there's like one escalator that works at like 5 p.m. when everyone's trying to like run and people are like forced to run to like catch their connected train. I'm sorry, the food at Newark Penn Station is terrible. I've never liked any other, like, it is sad that the most delicious place to get food is McDonald's. Right? Like that shit is sad. Like even the damn pastry bakery place has terrible food. But
it is overpriced.
It's overpriced. It's like I think I was hungry because I missed my train. So I'm like, so I'm stuck at Newark Penn fucking station for like 1 hour. Mm-hmm. So I was like, let me just get I was gonna get a cookie or some nonsense, and it was like a white macadamia cookie. And
it was probably dry.
Dry. No sweetness. some dry Sahara desert up in this motherfucker. I was like, yo, this is some nasty ass shit. So and it was like $4.99. I was like, word for what? $4.99 for what? It was terrible.
So I have a silly request though. Like
Okay.
if you turn this Nightmare in New York into a movie, because you do have the clip that's on the Kickstarter, and that looks actually pretty dope. But if you do turn this into a movie, and you need that random newscaster in a movie, and the guy holding the camera, and it's like, and he's doing like the news report, like, yeah, the aliens are coming and stuff like that, and then they start attacking Newark Penn Station. Me and Baif are gonna just request that we are in the movie, so we can die and everything. I don't care, we can die. we could be the first ones in that scene, but we on it. We on it. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it in a resume right now.
I'll send you a picture of this. This is funny. Like the opening issue is a black man on like the news who's like, because something. It's a flashback.
Word.
To like the 80s, and I was gonna like use that real reporter, like this real reporter, but I think I could get in trouble if I like use their name without like getting the okay. So I kind of like based the look off of him. Right. So yeah, man, we probably have to put you inside some type of like wig and all that other stuff.
I'm when I tell you I'm here for it, I'm like 110%. I already got. This is the Channel 9 News coming to you live from Newark. And what the fuck is that in the sky?
Like a dude. It's based on kind of sort of that one dude who would be like, he's like, hi, I'm Troy Mitchell, and today's forecast is just going to be like a flash in his mouth.
You know what? You know what we could do? Look, we all in the mix now. We could get Baif to wear one of them UPN vests since they don't exist anymore. You remember UPN back in the day? Yes. And then we good. We just have like coming to you live from UPN, because that used to be Channel 9. I don't know if what it was in New York, but I mean that'd be like really, really dope.
Yeah, so it was the Channel 6 News. And it was ABC. What's it called? For 1986 at least. But because the first issue is a flashback. To something, and this is shit. Spoiler alert for Nightmare in Newark. The first like page is a flashback. Is all I will say.
That's really dope.
A fun little period piece. But yeah, man. What's it called? You can have a cameo.
You heard it. It's on film. We are in there. Nightmare in Newark is happening, and we are in there. This has been fun. I'll be honest with you. This has been one of the most fun. I mean, we really literally started talking about Superman, the death of Superman, and Ninja Turtles, and Mufasa, and the Lion King, and you gave us like cultural nuggets. You gave us like, and so what I'm going to say, we're going to have to do another one of these, definitely for sure. Yes. Like I said, I'll speak it to. Obviously, I will go through the proper channels and submit credential and all that stuff. But I'm definitely trying to come to the premiere of Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. And then
please do it.
And more than anything, I'm gonna write that down in my journal, like Nightmare in Newark, cameo scene, and then just let that come to existence. But just run down everything that you're doing right now, so that people can find you, where they can find you, anything special that you're doing, maybe even outside, even if it's an acting gig, whatever you want to talk about. This is your time to shine, and just let's run it all down so everybody can find you. Because I think there's gonna be a lot of people who watch this and just be like, "Yo, I gotta connect with this dude." And then we got 7 days with the Kickstarter. Start from today, so let's go. It's all yours.
Yes. So you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter at Crownson. If you want to follow you can order Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. The graphic novel is 250 pages, and it's on sale Right now, we did a Juneteenth week sale, $10 off. You can order that from the site. Also, Nightmare in Newark. Obviously, go to the Kickstarter, support that. We have a whole bunch of cool pledges and reward tiers. Bro, if you want to get posters, we have a ton of posters that we're giving out as well. If you like pledge, like, but it's for $100 or more. You get the book, you get variant covers, graphic novels, and a whole bunch of signed laminated posters. What else? I'm an actor. I'm on this TV show called Bubbly Brown Sugar, produced and created by Tamla Baldwin. That's going to be, it's on YouTube now, and season 2 comes out in September, so look out for it. Black romantic comedy. And look out for Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer, which will hopefully be on produced by Prentice Penny, and look out for that in 2024. And Nightmare in Newark will come out sometime next year in 2023. But if you are a Kickstarter backer, you will get it in December.
That's what's going down. Anything else? We good?
I think that's it. Yeah. Donate to the Kickstarter today, please. When will this go up? Like, please let this go up like tomorrow.
Well, we usually we shoot it out. Pause. It'll be out by next Monday.
Okay, that's good. Still for a couple days. Still 2 days.
But I mean, hey, it'd be a great push for the last minute, I guess, push, not the last minute, but the last part of the push towards the Kickstarter. I'm definitely gonna contribute to the cause for the Kickstarter. Like I said, I'm so here for this. It just makes a lot of sense. I'm glad that there's I don't want to take away from any other writers out there that may have produced or had something in Newark, but I just love the creative process. I don't know if I even said this at the beginning of the podcast, but for me and a friend of mine, we used to illustrate our own comic book, and that's what led us to go to the Comic-Con when we were younger. And when I was saying I got the JLA posters and stuff like that, so like he would draw the characters, I would draw like the background, the buildings, and all that other stuff. We had it it was like maybe like a 4 or 5 page comic and stuff like that. And we never, you grow up, you start playing sports and stuff like that. So I kind of had put that down. But I remember before I moved, when I was in high school, I actually took an animation class. So those things like this are all rooted within me. So just to meet you, to have this conversation, and to hear you, it just resonates so much with me. And then I claim it often. I'm a black nerd, blurred as they say, and I feel like I was texting a friend of mine today, and I was like, I said I'm a little nervous that most of the people I've interviewed, I'm familiar with, I've networked with, I've had conversations with before. I said me and him never even had a conversation before today. I said I wonder how this is gonna go, and this felt like home. You know what I mean? Like I was like, man, we connected on that level. And we'll definitely have more conversations in the future and connect and build. And you did put something out there on Instagram in your story and said you're going to try to finagle or something to find yourself. And to me being your trainer. However, I don't know if you knew this, and I guess I didn't tell you this as a caveat. A part of this podcast is that I work out with all the people that I interview. So you're at least gonna get that first session in, and then we'll talk about the other part later. But yeah, that workout is coming, bro. So you spoken it into existence.
Yes, no man. I do not have my trainer got a job at at a different at Lifetime or in Berkeley Heights.
Yeah.
And my ass, I was like, man, I don't know how people go to the gym and they have the mental discipline to just be I wish I could be like The Rock and just go to the gym, and it ain't that big of a deal for me just to push myself hard, pound that iron pavement. I can't do it unless someone is there pushing me. Well, not just to like push me, but also like I've had a couple injuries, so I need to make sure like my form is right and make sure someone's like, yo, man, take it easy. You're gonna mess up your knees, or yo, take it easy. You work on that form because your lower back is gonna be all kinds of messed up if you don't do this right. So like, yeah, man, like my trainer, he like left. So I'm like, I've been trying to go to the gym. I came in once this week, and I was like, yo, this felt great. But yesterday was kind of a struggle, and then today was like, oh man, like I don't know, like. So I I need help.
Well, help is on the way, my brother. And you know, the good thing about any type of training is the first part you got that down, is showing up, and then you know the second part is confessing, hey, I need help, and you know we're gonna make sure we get that workout done. And I just thank you once again for coming on. Once again, that's David Crownson. Did I say it right? Did I even say your name?
You did.
Okay.
You said it right.
All right. That's David Crownson. I am, or this is, the House of Bull. We out. Peace.